In this video, we're going to see how to transfer account balances between different contacts in Brightpearl. If you've got business contacts who you both sell to and buy from, then you can use this technique to handle both the balances on just one account. You can also use this technique to transfer balances between two customers or between two suppliers. First, let's take a look at transferring the balance from one customer to another. Then we'll take a look at transferring a balance from a customer to a supplier. Here on the accounts receivable screen, or customer debt screen, we can see two different customers, each with their own account balance. Let's say that company A buys company B, and you want to move the $5 debt from company B into company A, so that a single payment from company A will clear all the open invoices of $15. We're going to use something called a transfer account, which is a virtual bank account in Brightpearl. No actual money moves around, and the balance on this account is always going to be zero. So here, for example, we've taken 5 out of the customer balance into the transfer account and then moved that straight on to the other customer. So at the end of the process, there's no balance left. Create your transfer account from the Chart of Accounts screen. If you're in the US, you'll need to create it in the Bank section, and if you're in the UK, you'll get an extra tick box in this screen where you can choose for it to be a bank account. I'm just going to call it a transfer account and let Brightpearl assign the code for me. You'll end up with a different code, but mine's come out as 1002. Now that we've got the transfer account set up, we need to clear the balance from company B using this account. So go to the payment allocation screen and clear that balance in full. If you want to, you could put a reference here that's common to both this one and the next transaction. Let's allocate that payment, and that clears the debt of company B. On the bank account screen, you can see the transfer account has now got a positive balance. We now need to transfer that balance across to company A. There are two ways to do this. The first is using a negative payment on account, and the second is to enter a quick invoice, which is under the customers menu. You might prefer the quick invoice method because it lets you use the same invoice number that the original invoice had. So let's search for company A. Make sure you enter the same date as the payment allocation at the previous step, which could be today or it could be the original invoice date. Enter your details, and then the amount. Balance transfers don't affect tax, so choose Not Rated or T9 if you're in the UK. If there is any tax, it will have been recorded into your accounts on the original invoice. The important step is to choose the transfer account here. Now that you've created the invoice against the transfer account, the balance on the transfer account is now zero, which we can see from the bank accounts list. If we go to customer debt or accounts receivable, we can see the full amount of $15 is now owed by company A. Now what we're going to do is see how to transfer the balance from a customer to a supplier. In this business, company A are also a supplier. Because Brightpearl won't let you have both customers and suppliers with the same company name, we've called the vendor or the supplier company A suppliers. They've sent us goods worth $15 and we now have a supplier invoice. What we want to do is write off the debt that we have to them with the debt that they have to us. So the first thing we'll do is clear the supplier debt by going to the payment allocation screen and choose to pay the balance with the transfer account. Then go to the accounts receivable and take payment from the customer. And again, here we need to make sure we're using the transfer account. These two payments balance each other out, and you can see on the bank account screen that the balance on the transfer account is zero. We can also see that there's no customer debt or no accounts receivable, and similarly the vendor debt or accounts payable has also been cleared. If you want to transfer balances between suppliers, use the vendor bill screen or the supplier bill screen in the same way that we used the customer quick invoice screen to transfer balances between customers. And that takes us to the end of the video where we see how to transfer an account balance between different contacts.